Have you ever found yourself in a relationship, romantic, professional, or familial, where every conversation seems to involve a third person? Your partner compares you to their ex, your boss pits you against a coworker, or your friend relays a nasty comment someone else made about you. This isn't just gossip, it's a deliberate and highly destructive tactic called triangulation. Today, we are exposing this powerful form of dark psychology, revealing how the manipulator creates drama, chaos, and conflict to gain total coercive control over you and everyone else in their orbit. Triangulation occurs when a manipulator introduces a third party, real or imagined, into a two-person relationship to stabilize their own power. Instead of addressing conflict or communication directly, they run their entire life through these third parties. Why is this the favorite strategy of the covert narcissist? To avoid accountability, triangulation is the ultimate form of blame shifting. If they are asked why they can't commit, they say, "My ex was so toxic, it ruined me." If you confront them, they say, "Everyone I talk to agrees that you are the problem." The manipulator never has to take responsibility because the focus is always on the failings of the third party or the reaction of the crowd. To manufacture supply, the manipulator needs constant attention, validation, and drama, narcissistic supply. By pitting two people against each other, they ensure they are the vital link, the gatekeeper of information, the victim in the middle, or the ultimate judge. This keeps them centered in the chaos they create. In every act of triangulation, the manipulator assigns three roles to keep the game going. They are never caught because they rotate through these roles seamlessly. They present themselves as helpless, using the pity play to generate sympathy from one side of the triangle while secretly attacking the other. Example, they tell their friend that you are too controlling. They briefly play the hero who understands both sides, temporarily stabilizing the tension to keep the toxic relationship cycle spinning. Example, they tell you they had a talk with your coworker and smooth things over. They actively spread rumors or compare two people, creating genuine conflict. Example, they tell you that your current partner's ex was so much better at X, using the comparison to actively lower your self-worth and increase your desperation for their approval. Triangulation is one of the most effective ways to make you doubt your reality and solidify their coercive control. There are 5 red flags you can spot to understand the manipulator. They frequently compare you, your looks, job, behavior, to an ex-partner, a friend, or a competitor. This creates immediate insecurity and fuels a sense of competition. They want you to try harder for their approval, keeping you focused on external validation instead of your self-trust. They use other people, friends, family, colleagues, as their informants or defenders. These people, often unaware they are being manipulated, become the flying monkeys. They may approach you saying, "I hear you've been upsetting the manipulator," pressuring you to apologize or back down, which reinforces the manipulator's victim mentality. They selectively share information to create distrust. They might tell you that person A said something negative about person B, and then tell person B that person A is gossiping about them. They hold the truth, making everyone else suspicious of each other and entirely dependent on the manipulator for context. The manipulator will never directly address a problem you have with them. If you say, "I'm upset you were late," they respond, "Well, my mother says I've been running late ever since I met you," or "My boss says I have too much on my plate." They constantly introduce an external voice to avoid personal accountability. They use the presence of a third party to imply you are replaceable. In dating, this could be keeping an ex on the hook or talking constantly about an admirer. At work, it's mentioning they have 2 other candidates ready for your job. This creates a terrifying sense of scarcity, forcing you to accept poor treatment just to avoid being abandoned. You stop the game by refusing to play with more than one person at a time. Block the transfer of information. The moment they mention a third party, stop the conversation. Set a boundary immediately. Use the phrase, "I am only interested in talking about what happens between you and me." Demand direct communication. If the manipulator relays a message from a third party, your coworker thinks you should do X, respond with, "That is interesting. I will talk to my coworker directly about that." This removes the manipulator's power as the gatekeeper. Validate your self-worth. Triangulation is designed to make you feel like you need to compete for basic respect. Rebuilding self-trust means recognizing you deserve respect unconditionally. Reclaim your reality by trusting your gut when a relationship feels crowded and chaotic. Triangulation is the chess game of the manipulator. It creates chaos outside so they can maintain control inside. By refusing to engage with the third party and insisting on direct, two-person communication, you destroy the triangle and force the manipulator to reveal who they truly are. Which of these 3 roles, victim, rescuer, persecutor, does the manipulator in your life play most often? Share your insights below. Let's empower each other to stop feeding the drama. Trust your signal.